What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Art with Jesus Conde, and today we're going to be working on a painting of Finn from the new Star Wars movie, The Rise of Skywalker. And yeah, let's get started. So the first thing that I'm doing right now is basically just making a first rough sketch of the face. You can see that at my left I have a lot of reference. I spent about 20 minutes looking for how the face looked from the side in profile, and now I'm basically just trying to catch those proportions that make him look like him. Not 100% accurate because I'm still learning how to draw like this using reference. There's something. It sounds weird, but there's something about it like I never quite understood. So I'm just practicing a lot on that, and this is one of those practices. I'm trying to do all the stuff at the same time, like making my videos, doing some practice, doing my posts and stuff like that. So a lot of the eyebrows and the nose and the mouth, where they are located, is a very racial thing. I guess some of the proportions of the face or like the bone structure of the skull are very racial, and in this case the mouth is almost at the same distance as the tip of the nose. So that's something that I had to quite grab in there. Like I needed to do it like that because if I didn't, it wouldn't look like that. There's something that I just didn't notice until like the end of the video, which was like the back of the head, like how it aligns the back of the head with the neck. There's something I didn't quite get when I was making it. So it's mostly something about like making small corrections here and there until I get it right. And something about the jacket was a bit hard to do for me. I don't know why. And right now, basically, you're looking at me just fixing a lot of stuff and trying to make it accurate as possible. I wanted to do the gun from the movie that I see on the trailer. It was really hard to do in terms of like figuring out the perspective and stuff like that. And then at the end, you want to see that obviously, but at the end I decided I wouldn't do it because it was taking way too much space on the top. And the way I wanted to pose this was like three circles, three paintings with circles of about Star Wars. And if I did the gun, this pose will have been like really really tall, and I was gonna end up with a lot of space, white space on the top, so I didn't want that. So at the end I took out the gun because of that. The weapon. Okay, so now I'm getting a little bit more of confidence with the sketch that I had, so I'm trying to fix some things here and there. And the better sketch that you have, you will have a better painting later. It's not 100% necessary because obviously you can make a painting without doing one single lines. But you still, if you do this, it's like if you were doing pre-production on your own painting. So it cannot go wrong, you know what I mean? Maybe you will spend more time, but that time you will be learning a lot, and you will be getting a lot of information and thinking. For me, the most important thing about sketching is the thinking that you do when you're sketching. When you're on it, you're like thinking, okay, so look at this lighting, how it affects this part. Look at how the like the shape of the aura is this way, but look at how it looks, like the hairs of it and stuff like that. You start like looking at the image more and trying to think how you will paint it. So by the time that you're painting it, you already thought of a lot of stuff, and the decision making it's way faster. That's the way I see it. Instead, if you paint from the beginning, which is good too, like there's a lot of great artists that does that. Like for example, Anthony Jones paints from scratch without any lines at all. Maybe blocking out some proportions here and there, but then it's like crazy fast and so good. So that kind of stuff, it's also, you have to practice that. It's not like you're just gonna jump on it and without having any fundamental knowledge at all, and just gonna jump on it and do that. You can't. It's just not possible. Like, I mean, you can do it, but it's not going to look any good. So be aware of that. The best thing that you can do is try to learn how to draw, and then later try to get that knowledge of fundamentals you have and apply it on your painting. I'm gonna do a video on the future about what books you can use to learn how to paint and stuff like that, but they mostly talk about lighting and stuff like that. Anyway, I'm talking too much about the gun because at the end I get rid of it. But right now I was trying to figure out that perspective, which I did it quite well because I needed to do some lines on it, and I was just so lazy to do them. But because it was a sketch, I was just trying things out to see. I wanted to see how much can I push that, but there was no way of putting it there. It was just too big. Like the gun was so huge that it popped out of the circle, and then I will have this empty blank space on top because of it, and I wasn't going to like that at all. The only other solution would have been to make everything smaller, to make his head smaller, and the body, so the hand and the gun will be smaller too. But then I will have to draw a lot of body, and I think it wouldn't fit what I was going for with the little circle images. And yeah, I just wanted to do like a bust, like just to the chest of him, and nothing else. So I just didn't want to go lower than that. Here, fixing a little bit of proportion because the shoulder was too short. Like the complete back of him was really narrow. I wanted to do it more wide, and yeah, trying to find those lines that make this character right now. Like the jacket. The design of the jacket is pretty cool. I really like how they did that. I'm not sure if the same jacket from before. I think it's the same jacket with some changes on it. Definitely, I remember he had something on his arm, I think. But now I have doubts. I know that the pants are different. That's completely different from the other movies. The first one was almost like he was wearing blue jeans. So, I don't know. Black jeans, actually. All the uniform was black. It looked kind of like that. So weird. Anyway, once I get that, then the next step is to start to paint. The painting is a bit of a struggle. The brush that I'm going to use, I cannot share because it's a brush that I got from another artist. It's not mine to give. Eventually I will create one to share it with you guys, but it's actually not big deal. It's just I've been trying to get things to look a lot more painterly. Recently I was approached by a guy to help sell his brushes, and I used them and they were really good. Just not for me right now. I need something a little bit more of a transition. They look way too real in terms of they look like oil and stuff like that. They're perfect, but for me, I need to still get a little bit of that detail comfort. So I use them. I don't use them that much. It's just like they're there in the background, like to help me out when I need something. but I don't use them completely like every day. Well, I mean, no, I do use them every day. I just meant like for like normal use constantly. I am actually testing to work with the Clip Paint Studio too. I will be posting videos of that, which is not big deal. I haven't learned actually how to use the program yet. Just to draw on it. That's all I can do. So here I'm trying to find a perfect background color. I haven't. I was looking for that color that makes me connect with the character, like his personality, or something really bold, like something unexpected. But then I'm really just normal. I'm not that into doing crazy things. So doing that bold decision was really hard for me. So I went with the more secure one, which is this blue color. So right now I'm just basically just getting some colors from the photos. I know I'm not supposed to use the eyedropper, but that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just grabbing some colors with the eyedropper and using them. I say I'm not supposed to because if you don't use the eyedropper, you get more knowledge in color. Like you try to get that color that you need on the palette, and you will learn more about lighting. You will learn more about all the stuff. But right now I just wanted to go ahead faster with this painting and just grab the colors from the reference. Then I made this little shadow. It's like if he was like coming out from a hole in the post or whatever on the paper, something like that. So right now I'm trying to find those light accents, and I'm using a lot of reference. Like the main that I'm using is the one on the bottom left, which is him looking from the side. But then he has this lighting coming from the right that I have to catch. The cool thing is about these photo shoots is that the lighting is almost the same. So that was a really huge advantage. Some of the full body ones are actually just to see how the jacket looks. They have different lighting, so that's bad. So you have to pick. In that case, you have to pick one that you're going to work with. You're gonna pick so much because you're gonna get lost in colors. And here's some highlights. Like where does the light reflects to us, like the light bounces, and the specular is like just reflecting the light to us. So you have to see if it looks wrong, you'll immediately know it. Like this doesn't look right. Okay, so now we get into the painting heavy of this face. So what I want you guys to keep in mind is that I have reference, but in this case I'm using the reference for the lighting, but where the accents and the shadows and things are, I'm trying to fix a little bit of the shape of the face too, but I'm not using it for the color, so I don't need that reference for that, you know what I mean? So you can pick what to use the reference for. You just have to know what you are using it for all the time, so you don't get confused on your own process. In this case, I just want to see where the shadows and things like that are, the lighting, the reflections on the light on the face, and a lot of the shape too. I just want to see a lot of how the shape of this character face is, and I can do all that without looking at the color. So that's something to keep in mind when you're working on these images using reference. You don't have to always find the completely perfect picture. You don't need it, especially when you're working on digital, because you have so much freedom. You can go back. You don't have to wait for it to dry or anything. So that's cool. Here I wanted to get some of that randomness in the hair, but then I was like, it shouldn't be completely like that. It should be like a little bit shorter because on the movie it's not that long, but kind of, yes. And here, let's see. There's a point where I do like another lighting, like another lighting source. That one coming from the left. That lighting coming from the left is completely got from the that reference on the bottom left. You get that lighting like coming from that space and like reflecting on his face. I thought that was really cool, so I tried to catch that a bit on the lips and the nose. And later I get more into that. Here I'm cleaning a little bit, just grabbing things with the eyedropper and repainting. Trying to get more of that those shadows on the face, and now I'm getting heavy with that reflection lighting on the left. As you can see, some of that in the neck too. The good thing about working with reference like this is that eventually you start developing that like that knowledge of a face should look like this or should look like that and things like that. If I make a small stop, is because I'm drinking some water. Alright, so now I'm getting to get this character. Like I'm starting to get this character like exactly how it should look. Before it looked like forced. Like it looks kind of like him, but it's not him. And now that I have that, I'm starting to notice the things that I'm really bad at. For example, the neck in the back is really bad. The neck is actually, I think, too thin. Maybe it will look like him, but like in a really younger version, like in the one on the bottom of the references with the suit. That one looks like a younger John Boyega. So you have that really small neck. Like more like thin looking neck. And yeah, there where I spread a lot of coloring everything. I was just actually trying just to get rid of some of the lines. It has too much lines sometimes. And in this one, I actually want to get rid of some of the lines. So it's not like I'm just trying to paint and keep them, which is something that I do sometimes. But I'm actually trying to get rid of them. Here some lighting reflection, but I'm using the color of the background. Right, so I forgot about this piece. I'm not trying to recover that mistake. So there I am, trying to draw that thing fast. It actually should be a lot lower, but I didn't want to lose it on the edge of the circle. I want to keep it inside. Yeah, some of the things are actually quite fun. When you're using reference, it's fun because you have to. It's kind of like you give away a lot of decision making. It's mostly something about finding the right reference for this or for that, and how things look, stuff like that. Not so much about what do I want to create or things like that. I don't know. It's way easier and makes it a little bit fun my input here is the format, the background, how it is. Not that the background is cool or anything, just like my idea of having this character on this circle stuff. And yeah, it's kind of, I know it's not like a big deal, but it for me it's like it's different than just painting a character on a full page. Having it on this format, it's kind of like it looks more like a product, or like something I want to look at. And I'm not trying to go to like hyper realistic either. I'm trying to keep it. I want it to look like a painting. I don't want it to look like super real. Like, I don't know. So you can just focus on catching some of the shadows, some of the highlights. You don't have to paint it exactly like super hyper detailed. But you'll learn a lot by doing these kinds of things. So basically this is like in the middle for me, trying to do something cool for me, like something that I like, and I'm learning at the same time. So that's why I really like these kinds of paintings. Lately I've been getting a lot into TikTok, going in, seeing what people post and stuff like that. If you want to follow me there, I want to put a link in the description, please. If you have time for that, just drop me a like or whatever, or follow me if you can. It's gonna be one of the platforms where I'm going to be way active. Basically I'm trying to be daily there. I just started just 2 days. I know it's a little bit but yeah, I'm trying to get in that platform as fast as I can before it blows out and nobody can post anything or whatever it's going to happen with that platform. But yeah, it's basically just short videos about me drawing, and they're really short. They're gonna be about 15 seconds or 60 seconds. So if you would like to see some of those videos, just join me at my TikTok account. The link is in the description, and thank you very much for that. Alright, so now I'm starting to fix a lot of stuff, trying to get the lighting right on some parts, trying to put some texture on it, trying to get the lighting good, details, that kind of stuff. Yeah, there I'm just adding a little bit of texture with the lines. Just doing that with the lines is really, for me, is like so relaxing to work the highlights that way. For some reason, I don't know. I liked it from the first time that I did it. It looked so. For me, it looked like so sketchy that it made me feel like this looks cool. I don't know why I like that. Here is me desperate, trying to get some volume quick in that painting. Something that I'm struggling with doing is to paint without zooming too much. I actually took out the zoom key from the keyboard. I mean not from the keyboard. I mean from the keyboard shortcuts on Photoshop because of it. It's something that I just did like all the time without any control. And like one thing of it is that I lose a lot of time on zooming in and out. Another is that it doesn't allow me to see the full image. So I'm concentrated like in these small pockets of the image, and that's not a good thing. Like with time is like I cannot just focus on anything or whatever, and it's not supposed to be like that. You should be able to see the full image and make the image the best that you can, or like the best that it can be presented. Okay, so here is my fix for the neck. First one, it should be like way thicker, and second, it should be more aligned, like the back of the head with the back of the neck. So that was my fix, and I think it looked better. Like it immediately changed a lot of stuff on the proportions, and looked more like him with that change. This is small effect that I do, that I put really saturated color between the shadow and then the light, and then I take that layer and put like a 50% opacity. It's just something that I do, and I like how it looks. It's like that small change between light and shadow looks looks cooler that way. Here I'm adding some color to that skin, like if it's reflected. And sometimes it's just looking a lot to find those mistakes and those things that I left unfinished. There I screwed up with the neck and I collapsed the layers accidentally, so I have to paint that again. So beware of those changes. Try to don't screw it up, or at least don't screw it up too much. Here I'm trying to put some volume on that neck of the jacket. Sometimes it's not that effective, but I think it worked. Those highlights really make that material pop. Like the metal, when you're working on metal and you put the little highlights on it, it makes him really shine. I know it's supposed to shine because it's metallic, but it does look like something completely different. In comparison with the jacket, which is like clothes, and the specular is way different. It's really big and it's not that shiny. Only thing that will be kind of shiny will be the eyes, the hair a little, the mouth if it's wet, or if it's sweating, like something like that. But other than that, it will be metal, leather. The jacket is leather, or I guess some kind of a plastic, special plastic, whatever it is. Here I'm trying to put some backlight on it. But that's about it. And then there's a point when you start doing some stuff that really doesn't make so much sense, and you think that you're starting to screw up the painting, so you better stop soon, because if you don't, you can really mess up the painting. At least be sure of what you're doing. Try to go for working with caution. Create new layers all the time, so you know if you messed up, you don't messed up so bad. Man, that jacket. Those proportions were bad, so I tried to fix them by deforming, just to make it a little bit better all the time. A little bit better. Yeah. And this is basically it. Now I'm just adding some textures to the back with some lines and then changing the opacity of it. Sometimes I do that. I do everything 100% opacity and then change it a bit, like 50, 60 to see how it looks. I do that a lot. Alright, and I guess this is it, guys. This is I hope you like this video. The result of it. Obviously, this image is on Instagram, DeviantArt, and every platform that I'm on. Thank you very much for following and watching my video, and see you next time. Thank you.